Hi, welcome back to part 2 of what's new in My Memory Suite version 7. I'm going to look at the photo tool and the imprint and shape tool. I have different tutorials on embellishments and text, so you can check those tutorials out as well. So for the photo tools, let's add a photo box here and pick a photo, pick one of my daughter. Alright, so we've got the photo here. And what we want to do is blur the edges. That's a new feature in here. So we right click, we highlight. Okay, to highlight the photo, you left click on it. Now you only need to left click once. You right click to get your tool bar up, and you can see that blur photo edges is an option. So you click on blur photo edges, and this toolbox comes up. You can blur one edge, or you can blur all edges. I'll show you what the different ones look like. So this is blurred all edges, and you can adjust this amount of your blur. Obviously I don't want to blur out my daughter's head, so I am going to go with a lower blur and press OK. So it fades it in, blends it into the page, which is a really neat option. Say I want to put it up in the corner here, and so let's get rid of our trim area. There we go. So I want to put the photo up in the corner. Well, I don't really want it to fade out in all areas. I only want it to fade out on the bottom and the left. So again, I right click, go into my blur photo edges, and take the check mark off the top and the right edge. I'm going to blur it in a bit more. Press OK, and there we go. And then I can just nudge it up to the top by pressing the arrow keys, and her photo is blurred into the page. I can even make it bigger. There we go. It gave me the warning that it's going to pick Slate because this is a phone that was taken on my, a photo that was taken on my phone camera. So I actually can't put it this big on the page. I just increased the size so that you guys could see how it works. I'm going to reverse out of this. Of course, to undo anything that you've done on a page, you just click this undo arrow, and it takes away anything you've done step by step. Alright, another option that you can do is, again, you right click and you can round corners. Version 6 allowed us to round corners. That was a new feature in version 6, but what they've added is that now there's 4 different ways you can round corners. So this adjusts the size of your rounding, and again, just like the blurring, you can round specific corners and not round others. I am going to round all the corners so that you can see how it works. The new part of this is you have 4 options for rounded corners now. You can choose window, which I think is really cool, and that turns your photo into a window. I'll show you what it looks like shadowed. So it shadows each window so it looks realistic. Let's reverse out of that. You can also choose the new button. So it's just a different shape. You can see that. Maybe it will help if I shadow it. Actually, maybe it'll help if I had a white background on here. Oh, it didn't work. Sorry, let me just drag the background. Sure, it's not working. Let me pick my background from in here. Ah, never mind. Sorry, we'll just leave it at a background. You can also do the round corners, and they have a cloud shape. So it just offers a couple different shapes. Just trying to make it bigger so you can see the different shape. So it adds the rounded corner. Now they can be rounded corners, or they can have this cloud shape, or they could have the button shape, or what was the other shape? The window, which I like. So those are some different options. Again, it's up to you whether you think you would use that often or not. The next thing that they have in the photo area that you can do is when you're working in the gallery, it will track a photo. You can see that there's a check mark here now. It's telling me that they've used this photo. So there'll be a check mark with any photo that you use. And say I delete that photo, go onto the page, and I delete it. it also deletes from here. You have to click off of it and then click back on it, but it will show you that it is not used anymore. As soon as I use it, and again it comes checked. So basically it's just tracking your photos for you so you know which photos you've used and which you haven't, which again is going to be very convenient for some of you won't use that option. The other thing that we can do is we can put some photo boxes on our page. Let's just add a couple boxes here and a third box, and just say this third box is really small. I'll quickly add some photos to them. Sorry, these are all camera photos, so they're not big enough to actually be in these boxes, but obviously you'd use photos that are the proper size. So this was the last photo I added to the page. It's called the top photo. The top photo on your page, the layer that's on the top, is the one that is going to manipulate the rest of the photos. What this option does that I'm going to show you is that it changes all the photos on the page to the same size, but it's going to take the size of the top layer. So this third photo is my top layer. I am going to press my Shift key, and I'm going to left click on each picture to pick them. Once I have them all highlighted, I let go of the Shift key and I press the right. I click the right mouse button. And I'm going to go align, and as you can see, same cropped size at the very bottom here. So I press same cropped size and they all change to the same size. And I can just put them all up here or do whatever I want with them. So that's a quick way if you're lining photos up and you want them all the same size or across the page. You make one the size you want, make sure it's the top layer. And again, if you have a photo, you can always go into your layers button. Where is that? Right here. And it lists all your layers, and then you can make sure that the photo you want is the one that's at the top. So you can quickly, if you click on them, you see it shows which photo it is. So say I wanted them all adjusted to that size, I just simply put that one as my top layer, press OK, and then change it. So this one now is my top layer. And you'll see that if I highlight all of them, they all change to that size. So that's just a quick way of changing all your photos to the same size, which is fast and fabulous. The other thing that's new are shapes and imprints. They have a couple of new options in there. I'm just going to delete all my photo boxes. And let's go into the shapes. You can now crop shapes. So I add a shape. Let's add a circle. Let's make our circle big so you can see it. And say I just want a half shape. Now you can crop. You just press the crop button. And you line your little mouse marker here up into the corner. You left click and you drag it to the size you want. So say I want half a circle. Just take that to the bottom, go about 2 inches because my circle's 4 by 4. I let go and I press OK, and you can see that my shape is cropped. And of course you can add a photo to a shape. So let's add this photo. And you can see that we have a half circle. And you can do that with any shape. You can crop them into whatever you want. You can make a quarter circle if you want. Say I want to change this to a quarter circle, then I just move this up to 2 inches. Press OK, and now I have a quarter circle. So you can crop shapes. You can also crop imprints. You add an imprint. You want to crop it. It's the same thing. You move that mouse. Say we want half a heart. I'm not sure why you'd want half a heart on a page, but you never know. Maybe you want to put 2 different photos in each half of the heart. So you crop this heart and then you crop the other half and you have a whole heart. So you can again add white if you want. You can add a color. Just pick your color that you want. And now they have a paint tool, which you can just paint. I think they had a paint tool in the first place, so you can just paint a stroke if you want. Or they have a bucket fill now, which you choose the bucket and then you press on. Oh, didn't fill my whole thing. Let's see if it does it. There we go. just paint in those areas that didn't fill. Basically, you just pick the color you want. So the bucket gives you the full fill, and the paintbrush just paints little areas. If you wanted polka dots on your heart, you could do that. You just press OK, and that's your heart. So those are a couple things that are new in the shapes and the imprints and the photo box. Let me just double check. Oh, I know, there's a custom a custom folder in the imprints now. So if you have something stored outside your computer, it's just a quick click on the custom button and you find it where it is on your computer. And I believe the shapes also has that. Yep, they also have a custom button. So those custom buttons now you will find in everything. Okay, sorry, not photos. Embellishments, your custom buttons there, and backgrounds, your custom buttons. Of course, it's not going to be in photos because all your photos are custom. So those are a few things that are new with My Memories Suite version 7. Have fun playing!